in a knowledge economy. 65% of GDP come from services sector. Therefore, Malaysian leaders need knowledge and skilled workers. So if you don't upskill or reskill your existing workforce, how are you going to grow your businesses? Be focused in developing your people. So once your people are well equipped with skills and knowledge, they can drive the organization to greater heights. When we did our research, we found that Prosci focused on the people side of the change, and they are the world leader for the change management. And then they have a lot of studies, research, best practices and tools, which can be very, very useful.
Prosci was started 22 years ago now by an engineer who was a part of what was then called Bell Labs. And so he came from a very technical and analytical approach, and he was asked to look at why is it that some of their projects are successful and why are some not. And after doing quite a bit of research, he decided, or I shouldn't say he decided, he discovered that it wasn't how well those solutions were technically designed, it wasn't how well that they were put in place from their rollout, it was how well people would react and respond to those projects. The change management, while it's often referred to as focusing on people, and that's true, but change management is something that has to be applied throughout the organization. There's different skills and capabilities required for an executive or a sponsor than there is for the management that's often responsible for deploying it, and different capabilities that are required for project teams. And those things we've learned through extensive research of over 4,500 projects across almost every country in the globe. There are standard, repeatable things that you can do to gain success.
When someone goes through Prosci Change Management certification, they go through the tools and best practices that's available. When they come to the class, the participant need to bring in the in-company change initiative or in-company change project. So during entire 3 days, they'll discuss about their in-company work.
Moving from a small, locally based business into something that's more regional or potentially even global, you really have to learn how to interact and work with people that you can't directly control. When you're going beyond your local environment, you can't say jump and people will just say how high. You have to learn to plan for where are they going to accept things, where are they going to demonstrate resistance, and how do we plan for it. So one of the mistakes that I see made, and this is true for small companies, mid-size, or even large, is they will have too many projects at one time. I often do some polling, and people will give me answers like, we have 20 projects in place, or 50, or 100. Organizations, for the most part, can't accept those all at one time. And so if you can understand that complete portfolio of projects and who's being impacted and how they're being impacted, then you can do a much better job of, first of all, prioritizing and maybe rescheduling or reshuffling.
Okay, now we got a Malaysian trainer, our trainer to be been certified by Prosci to deliver a Prosci workshop in Malaysia. We're looking at least once a month.
The statistics are not great. They show that 70% of projects fail to meet their full objectives. But the interesting part, there's always a silver lining. The interesting part is those that have effective change management have a much, much higher success rate. If you want the detailed statistics, those that have poor change management are only successful 15% of the time. Those projects that had excellent change management actually achieved their stated objectives 94% of the time, a 6-fold improvement.